Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling individual productivity,
Okay.
but not just the, everyday kind.
Right.
We're going really deep on this idea of
Mm-hmm.
productivity stars.
Okay.
These folks that just seem to achieve superhuman levels of output.
Yeah, these are the individuals who really redefine, I think, what's possible,
Exactly.
becoming outliers in their fields.
And to help us understand what makes these people tick,
Yeah.
we're diving into a fascinating 2016 paper
Okay.
from Personnel Psychology.
Great.
The authors,
Oh,
Guinness
well,
and
yeah.
his colleagues,
Yeah.
crunched numbers from 229 data sets covering over 625,000 people
Wow.
across a range of professions.
Like?
Scientists, athletes,
Uh-huh.
even politicians.
Fascinating.
Our mission today,
Yeah, what is it?
to unlock the secrets of these star performers
I like it.
and see what we can all learn about recruiting, developing, and retaining
Yeah.
top talent in any organization.
Right from the get-go, this research challenges a common assumption.
Okay.
The bell curve.
Okay.
We're so used to thinking of performance as normally distributed.
Right.
Most people clustered in the middle with
Yeah.
a few high and low performers at either end.
Makes sense.
But when it comes to productivity,
Okay.
Guinness's findings
Uh-huh.
suggest a different model,
All right.
the power law.
Okay, so what is a power law and
Yeah.
why does it matter
Yeah.
when we're talking about people's output?
Think of it like this.
Back.
In a bell curve world, the average performer sets the norm.
Right.
But under a power law,
Yeah.
a small percentage of individuals generate a disproportionately large chunk of the total output.
So instead of the average being the standard,
Right.
it's actually these exceptional individuals
Yes.
who are driving the majority of the results.
Precisely.
Interesting.
And this isn't just some quirk of a specific job or industry. They found this pattern across, such diverse fields, suggesting it's a more fundamental principle at play.
Okay.
The study points to some fascinating real-world examples.
Okay, let's hear it.
Take professional hockey.
All right.
Alex Ovechkin scoring 51 goals in a season that's incredible.
Yeah.
Even more so when you compare it to Steven Stamkos, who scored a whopping 60 the year before.
Wow.
These aren't just slightly above average performances.
Right.
They're statistically improbable in a bell curve model.
Yeah.
Or think about a sales representative generating far more revenue than anyone would expect based on a normal distribution.
Okay.
These examples highlight the very real impact of the power law in action.
So we're not just talking about people who are a bit more productive,
No.
but individuals
Yeah.
who are operating on a completely different level.
Totally.
This has huge implications for organizations,
Yes.
especially when it comes to talent management. But how do we explain these massive differences in output?
Well, that's a good question.
This is where the concept of cumulative advantage comes in, right?
Yes. Think of it like compound interest. Early advantages, even small ones, can build on themselves over time, creating a snowball effect that leads to disproportionate outcomes. Like a tiny advantage early on gives you access to better resources, better opportunities, and even better feedback,
Right.
all of which, propel you further ahead.
So it's not just about raw talent or working hard.
Right.
It's about understanding how these early wins can create a positive feedback loop
Yeah.
that amplifies success over time.
Absolutely. And Guinness goes beyond just describing the phenomenon.
Okay.
He identifies specific factors that can either accelerate or hinder this cumulative advantage effect. He calls them conductors and insulators.
Okay. That's really helpful for anyone trying to build a team of star performers.
Yeah.
So let's start with the conductors. What are some of the factors that amplify this cumulative advantage effect?
One fascinating conductor is multiplicity of productivity.
Right.
Imagine a scenario where each unit of output makes it easier to produce the next.
So success breeds more success.
Precisely. Think of a researcher. Each published paper can lead to more collaborations, grant funding, and visibility, all of which, make it easier to publish even more.
Right.
Or in software development, the more code you write, the more experience and expertise you gain, setting you up for even greater productivity.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you're trying to identify future star performers, especially in fields like research or software development, looking for evidence of this multiplicity of productivity could be a game changer.
It's a strong signal.
Yeah.
Another conductor is monopolistic productivity, where a few individuals control resources in a way that limits the output of others.
So this is about how the structure of a job or an organization can actually create a winner-take-all environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take a high-stakes consultant vying for clients.
Right.
Those who win early often gain access to a network, resources, and a reputation that make it harder for others to compete, further amplifying that initial advantage.
Right.
It's not limited to consultants either. Think about surgeons competing for operating room time, or even social media influencers vying for sponsorships.
Yeah.
The same principle can apply.
This is a really crucial insight for leaders.
Yeah.
It suggests that even if you hire talented people, the way you structure work and allocate resources can significantly impact their potential.
Sure.
It reminds me of the saying, the rich get richer.
Yes, and it highlights the importance of being mindful of those dynamics when designing roles and teams.
Right,
You
yeah.
don't want to unintentionally create bottlenecks that prevent talented individuals from flourishing.
Exactly.
Another critical conductor is job autonomy.
Okay.
Roles offering greater freedom and decision-making power tend to see more star performers.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems intuitive that top talent craves autonomy.
Yeah,
They want to own their work, make their own decisions, and not be micromanaged.
exactly. Autonomy allows individuals to leverage their unique strengths and perspectives, leading to breakthrough results.
Right.
So if you're aiming to attract and motivate star performers, creating a work environment that supports autonomy is essential.
For sure.
And then there's job complexity.
Okay.
You might assume that complex jobs naturally attract and produce more stars, right?
Yes, I would think so.
Yeah.
After all, complex tasks usually require, more specialized skills and knowledge.
While there's some logic to that, the research was less conclusive on this factor. Perhaps in some cases,
Really?
the cognitive demands of a highly complex role can actually hinder the emergence of those really, dramatic standout performers.
So complexity is a bit of a wild card
Yeah.
when it comes to predicting star performance.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what about those insulators? What are some of the things that might limit the emergence of these productivity superstars?
One key insulator is the productivity ceiling.
Okay.
This refers to jobs with a natural limit on potential output, maybe due to regulations, technology, or the inherent nature of the work itself.
So even with a highly talented individual, there's a cap on how much they can achieve in those roles.
Exactly. If there's a hard limit on what's possible, you're less likely to see those extreme outliers.
Right.
Think about industries with strict regulations or roles where technology dictates a certain pace or level of output. These constraints can dampen the effects of cumulative advantage.
So even if you're looking for star performers, you need to be realistic about the limitations of the role and the industry you're in.
Absolutely.
It's crucial to set appropriate expectations. Now, I'm curious about experience. Did the researchers account for the fact that some of these stars might just have more years under their belt?
Yeah.
Could experience be the real driving force behind their exceptional performance?
That's an insightful question, and the researchers addressed it head on.
Okay.
They employed some clever methods to disentangle the effects of cumulative advantage from those of pure experience.
Okay.
For instance, they analyzed college athletes within their specific class year, ensuring everyone had a similar level of experience.
So they controlled for seniority, essentially.
Precisely. They also used statistical techniques to specifically isolate the experience factor.
Okay.
And what they found is remarkable.
Oh.
The cumulative advantage effect persists even after accounting for differences in experience.
So it's not just about tenure or seniority.
No, it appears to be something more fundamental about how certain individuals leverage their early opportunities, turning small wins into bigger ones, regardless of how long they've been doing it.
This is encouraging for organizations because it means they don't have to wait for someone to have years of experience to identify them as a potential star. You can start looking for those traits and behaviors early on and invest in developing them.
Exactly.
This brings us to a critical point. How do we actually apply these insights to build teams of star performers?
That's the million-dollar question. And while there's no single magic formula, this research provides valuable guidance. Understanding these conductors and insulators can help organizations not just in attracting, but also in developing and retaining their top talent.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been unpacking this whole idea of productivity stars and the power law distribution. But, focusing solely on these individual superstars kind of leads us to a pretty crucial question.
Yeah.
What about the contributions of everyone else on the team?
That's a critical point, It's easy to fall into that trap of thinking about, star performers in isolation. But even in fields where individual contributions are very, very visible, like professional sports or cutting-edge research, there's always this network of support, collaboration, shared knowledge that underpins those remarkable achievements.
Like that saying, it takes a village.
Yeah.
Even the most talented individuals, they rely on this whole ecosystem
Totally.
to reach their full potential.
Think about, like a groundbreaking scientific discovery.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, there's a lead researcher whose name is on the publication.
Right.
But behind that individual are, lab assistants, collaborators, peer reviewers. It's, a whole team of people who played a role in making that breakthrough possible.
Right.
Or take sales, where individual performance is often very closely tracked. Even the most successful salespeople depend on support from marketing, customer service, or product development. It's all interconnected.
So how do we balance the need to recognize and reward those star contributions without creating a culture that's like hyper competitive and ultimately undermines collaboration?
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
Organizations need to be very intentional about designing reward systems that don't just incentivize, individual achievement, but also acknowledge and reward collaboration and teamwork.
So instead of just celebrating Employee of the Month, we should also be recognizing teams that excel at, working together, sharing knowledge, supporting each other.
Precisely. And don't underestimate the impact of simply acknowledging and appreciating the contributions of everyone on the team, not just the most obvious standouts.
Right.
Creating a culture where everyone feels valued and knows their work matters, that's powerful.
It's about fostering a sense of shared purpose and collective accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
Where everyone feels like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
Absolutely. And this is where leadership plays a crucial role.
Yeah.
Leaders set the tone for the entire organization.
Right.
If they only focus on celebrating the stars, everyone else gets the message that their work isn't as important.
Right, yeah.
But if leaders make a conscious effort to recognize the hard work and dedication of every team member, it creates a much healthier and more sustainable culture.
It's about leading by example.
Yeah.
Showing that you value, collaboration, teamwork, and the contributions of everyone.
Right. Recognizing exceptional performance is important, but it's about doing it in a way that doesn't diminish the importance of the collective effort. It's about finding that sweet spot where individual excellence and collective success go hand in hand.
Because at the end of the day, the most successful organizations aren't just those with a few brilliant individuals.
Right.
They're the ones where everyone feels empowered to, contribute their best work and be part of something truly extraordinary.
This deep dive into productivity stars and the power law distribution has certainly given me a lot to think about, especially when it comes to fostering a more collaborative and supportive work environment.
Me too. As we wrap up today's episode, here's a final thought for our listeners.
Okay.
What role do you play in shaping the culture of your team or your organization?
Yeah.
Are you creating an environment where everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute? Or are you inadvertently reinforcing a winner-take-all mentality? It's something to reflect on as you build your own high-performing teams. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time for another exploration into the fascinating world of human behavior and organizational dynamics.